Hello, everyone. Don't you think that more and more we spend a lot more time on the internet every day, especially in the 21st century? I mean, I'll give you an instance when I was playing video games with me and my friend, and we spent a lot of time playing games, which ended up doing some harm to me because I ended up not doing or succeeding in some of my goals I had for today and completing the tasks, which I sort of set aside to spend time playing with my friends some video games, when I knew I wasn't supposed to, and I didn't even really need to either. And this sort of leads on to concerns about this sort of addiction that's sort of becoming more prevalent in the 21st century. And through my research on different clinical trials and studies and research reports and articles, I have figured out that this sort of addiction or attachment to or over excessive attachment to the internet is called internet addiction disorder, or IAD for short. And IAD is essentially an addiction or attachment to the internet which causes harmful effects to the people inflicted with this disorder. And I hope from this speech that you're able to understand why IAD is so concerning and why you should go through the effort of maybe preventing IAD in certain people or stopping it in yourself. And as a quick preview to the rest of the speech, we'll be talking about the problems, causes, and solutions of IAD. First off, we need to understand some of the problems and effects of IAD. So, as I said before, IAD is very prevalent in the 21st century, with 27% of people in the United States stating that they have or seen people with IAD before, which is actually quite a lot. And this comes from a study by the Clinical Psychology Review in 2022. It has also been shown that is actually prevalent among college students, a fact. Maybe because they have more time on their hands or they spend a lot more time on the internet, at least according to the study by Journal of Addiction in 2023, which sort of states how it's very prevalent among these groups of individuals and how it should be a concern. However, here are some of the effects of IAD, such as cybersex addiction, web surfing addiction, smartphone addiction, and online gaming addiction. Coming again from Clinical Psychology Review in 2022. And some of these effects coming from underdeveloped regions or from lonely men online, especially for the cybersex addiction that comes from like online chat rooms, gaming too, that comes from people spending a lot of time on games. However, these can actually have effects on your life and relationships by damaging them because you spend more time on the internet than you do on your own life, resulting in neglect of certain activities and tasks. Secondly, here are some of the causes of these issues as stated before. So first could be preconceived ailments, and what I mean by that is mental disorders in people which may lead to IAD. That being loneliness, depression, anxiety, and other antisocial disorders, at least coming from an article in Frontiers 2014 study. Is also coming from people who exert high levels of coping. And what I mean by that is that they require higher levels of coping to push away sort of unwanted things or unwanted events in their life, and they use the internet as a means of escaping that, coming from the same article by Frontiers in 2014. It also may come from practical uses, such as using it for work or school, and that may come with you spending a lot more time on the internet than you really want to. Therefore, you might develop the internet addiction. At least according from an article in Scientific Research in 2013. It also may due to impulsiveness. You want most people with IED want to keep going back and forth onto the internet rather than being online, rather than being and doing other things, which actually comes to create the term terminally online, which sort of represents people who may be suffering from IED. And this is coming from the same scientific research article in 2013. Finally, here are some solutions to the problems of the issues I stated with IED. So first, we're going to be focusing on macro solutions, which are more costly and timely solutions. First of which being solution-focused group counseling, or SFGC for short, which was studied by the Journal of Behavioral Addictions in 2033, which has shown to be very effective when you get groups of people with similar addiction and help them get treated with therapists and psychiatrists. Another part could also be talking to your therapist or psychiatrist about IED and getting medication or treatment, which can also be very costly and timely, which is shown to also be very effective by an article by MHA, or Mental Health America. Now here are some macro solutions which are less costly and less timely, but maybe more ineffective, which the first of which being exercise and app treatments. Exercise being like going for a run or going to the gym and talking to people, and the other part, app treatments, downloading an app on your phone, which may help you to detoxify from the internet. And this is also coming from the MHA article. Also, there's family and group therapy, which has shown to be very useful in treatment of IED, at least by NIH in 2012, which doesn't even have to be getting a therapist. It could just be talking to your family and friends about the disorder. Now, some arguments is that, as stated before, is very timely and costly to go through these solutions, and you may not have a lot of time to be spending on this. Like, a lot of people don't have that schedule. A lot of people are sort of stuck, they can't really work on themselves because they have to work on other things. However, I argue that it's worth it to go through the cost and time of this rather than let it sit, because if you let it sit, then it'll just do more damage over time. At least this is sortable. In conclusion, what we learned is that IED is a very concerning issue that sort of needs to be taken action of in order to solve, and I hope that you are able to gain knowledge of IED from this presentation or speech, and understand that IED can be very preventative, but also be very issuing. So therefore, I hope that you go out there and help people with IED, or help yourself. And just a review of what we've seen, or what I've been talking about. We talked about some of the problem, causes, and solutions of IED, which all come together to form this idea that we should be sort of helping each other and helping ourselves. I hope you learned a lot from this presentation or speech, and thank you and have a great day. Goodbye.